examples of work done by two of our students that did GCSE art. This is Cheryl's work, and this was part of her self-portrait project, looking at things that had occurred in her childhood and looking at the work of Gina Garran that did work with dolls. She looked at fear of spiders, and then she looked at other things that had been issues for her when she was younger, such as going to the dentist and some of the responses that she'd had from visiting the dentist. They are experimental, they're playful, they produce things that are unique, and they become very focused and engaged in what they're doing. Have we made a sphere?
We made a
What have we made?
a Darth Vader, Darth Star.
A dove star.
It's solid.
It's solid. It is a bit like, it's like Danny was saying earlier, it's a bit like a planet, isn't it?
Sphere.
Well done. That's it. That's the word that says sphere. Well done. Excellent.
Today. Very
good. By allowing the students to go in whatever direction they need to go after initially stimulating a certain response, it gives them opportunities to make choices and to make decisions. Then whatever they make is uniquely theirs, and that increases their confidence, their self-esteem, and ultimately is empowering. It's something that they can take right through their lives, not just for today or not just for the art session.
Zach's probably the most able in our class. He's very, very artistic. He's fantastic.
Doing some art. I made this Darth Star was slipped in there means Darth Vader.
Thomas tends to work with Zach a lot.
We made the slime in the sphere. Okay,
It's more old.
Luke's got selective speech, so obviously everything we do, we have to sign to him. What will Luke do to the balloon? We will pop it, yeah. Good talking, Luke. Danny's alien, so everything you try and do will be an alien. So it's easier, instead of saying we're going to build this sphere, we're going to build a sphere planet.
In the base of a planet, and things are the same as a planet.
And then Danny's like, great, brilliant.
Zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. And anyway.
When you first start, it's a little bit difficult until you've sat and observed. Like you can say the wrong word, and so, like Zach might get upset or Danny might get upset. So it's really good that we've worked together, because I've been with these four since September, so you know what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what they enjoy the most, and we've got a really good relationship. So I enjoy it myself. Like they're my little mates, so I won't change them for the world.
What we're trying to do in this particular lesson is, we're working on things like balance, coordination, self in space, but also we're promoting communication, and we're using dance and movement to facilitate that. We've also got particular aims for the children. There's a boy called Cam. He can't sit still, he can't relax. He's going all the time, and his aim was to be able to relax at the end of the session for 4 minutes. That was his aim. That's taken 6 months. We have achieved that now, but it's been a long process. We've got Curtis in the group, who has a particular relationship with Cam, and this is why we've put him in the group. He was displaying inappropriate behaviour constantly in the classroom. It was becoming a big problem, really disruptive. So we kind of use this session as a way for him to be with Cam, but we don't hug, we don't kiss him, we don't touch him. Richard is a very anxious individual, finds anything he does very scary, gets very upset easily, can be aggressive. but likes music. We've done lots of work on locating parts of our body. We're looking at visual images of parts of our body. We're also locating them on other pupils. So it's classification of skills as well.
Kaylee's been really thrilled to have one of her pictures chosen to be shown at the Victoria and Albert Museum. That's given her a real sense of self-esteem. So Kaylee is now going to go on to do a diploma course at a college near here, using those skills that she's learnt through the things that she's been exposed to at Rosehill School, which we're very proud of her. Look at the trees and think about not just looking straight at the tree, but maybe getting down on the ground and looking up at the trees and seeing all the light shining through the leaves. All of the group decided that they liked doing the very close-up macro shots. So what I did was I said, what we need to look at is our school environment, what our school means to us. What things do we see every day that we like? You know, it could be something like the door handle as you're going into the peg where you hang your coat every day. So we talked over a few things that we could take. Then all of the students, including Kaylee, went out with a camera and they took as many shots as they were able to of things that they liked. And I sent them out quite freely on their own. There wasn't any input from the staff. And they came back with these wonderful sets of images that we then thought, now how can we display these? What would be a nice way? And actually Kaylee came up with the idea of doing very small pictures and sticking them on to make a whole. And she produced a wonderful, wonderful picture. And the other students looked at Kaylee's picture and were inspired by it, if you like, and they have all done smaller versions of the same thing. So it's their bird's eye view, really, on what is important to them in their own environment.
I went to mainstream school and I didn't cope very well, so I had to come to a special school. And you wouldn't have recognised me 3 years ago. I didn't used to talk and I used to get very angry because I didn't understand what was happening. And Rosehill really helped me to come through. I used to be really, really anxious, and the staff helped me understand my anxieties and why I used to get anxious. I used to trash classrooms, break things and throw things around and run around screaming.
When Kaylee first came into our group, she was a very anxious young lady, and small things used to quite upset her. And Kaylee sometimes, when she was very, very anxious, used to go back into being a little girl, and she'd talk to us in a little girl voice. And we knew then that she was experiencing sort of great anxieties because she was in this little girl mode. But very gradually, as her confidence has built, we don't see that. We saw it less and less, and now obviously Kaylee doesn't need to do that because she copes in other ways now. She knows that she's got people she can go and talk to if she's got any worries, and we've encouraged that along the way, and so we don't see that sort of personality from Kaylee now, although I'm sure she does have anxieties, but she is able to cope with them much better now. We're all very proud actually of what Kaylee has achieved.
Just started coping better and better every single day with the structure of the school and the structure of the lesson times. Everything's really structured, so I started to cope much better with that. Wrote all things down and what's going to happen in the day and different times and stuff, and then have the blackboard and I used to have a picture board so you could stick pictures on, so I knew what was coming up next and take it around with me. It helped me understand what was going to happen. We started doing digital photography in 16 plus and really got into doing that. And then we started doing a digital OCN, so that was good fun. And we had regular art lessons and there was opportunities to use the cameras in the art lessons, and so I started using them then. So it was good. Then got a digital camera at home, so I started using that more and taking lots of pictures. It just kind of went on from there. Martin Parr inspired me to do quite a lot of work. I saw a video about him at college and I liked how he took photographs of things close up and people being like natural, not really noticing the camera and stuff. I really enjoyed looking at his work. I do a lot more close-up work and stuff that like he's done photographs of, and that's inspired me to do like my photographs. Maggie is one of the TAs and she's into digital photography as well. So we both go out and take pictures and then we go look at them. And she like organises the lesson plans and sorts everything out and what we're going to do in the lesson. And then we just have fun with the cameras. In the photograph, I was looking around to try and find different things and noticed there was a tiny fly in the very corner of it, stuck in a web. And I liked how the background was blurry, but the foreground is clear. I like the different colours, some of the all different shapes and how they kind of like to stand out when I saw the photograph. I like this one the best because the water looks like ice and it's all sparkly. And I like because the tap, some of it's in focus and some of it isn't. But the thing that did it for me was the water coming out the bottom. It just looks, it's like crystal. We were doing about our environment in school and I took pictures of all of 16 plus in school and then put them together as a big montage. There was a boy called Luke and I helped him take photographs and he really enjoyed doing that. And he got quite severe autism, so he just like went around taking lots of photographs of different things and he really enjoyed looking back at them. I applied to go to Grantham College and I applied to do a BTEC in art and design. It also covered things like pottery and photography and stuff. And I went for my college interview last week and they said they wanted me to do the art and design diploma instead of doing the BTEC, which is like a level up. So I was really happy about that. They asked me like about my work and why I did different things in my work. Nerve-wracking. It was okay.
Yeah, there've been bad days and there've been fantastic days, but this job is fantastic and you've got to have the passion in your heart, because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, the kids are great, they come and love you. I mean, we've had chairs thrown, tables thrown, but unless that passion's not in your heart, I don't think you should work with kids. In mainstream or at Rosehill, both is the same. You've just got to have the passion to do it.
I think all schools would benefit by having artists working within them, even if it's only a short scale situation, because that can stimulate staff. It gives students alternative ways of looking at things and alternative ways of working and often alternative materials to work with, and in itself can be a great stimulus to the school and its environment.
Art can be used quite powerfully as an alternative way of communicating. It's another form of expression. You know, it can sometimes help people to kind of express their anger or their happiness or sadness, which they perhaps couldn't do in any other way.
Cut!